Hey there, my name is Jake Fairbanks. I'm with Ideal Roofing and Solar. Thank you for your interest in our roofing sales position. What I have here is just a quick overview of Ideal Roofing, who we are as a company, how we got started, some background on the company, the owners, some players involved within Ideal, as well as some more information about the position itself. So just to get started here, we started Ideal back in June of 2019. So June of this year will be our 5-year anniversary. Super excited for that. 5 years is a pretty big benchmark. So I'm really happy with what we've accomplished over those 5 years. Our rating, it's really our claim to fame. We tell every customer who we meet with, we can tell you anything in the world. Go look at our reviews and see what past customers say about us. So I think we have around 130 or so reviews between Google, Better Business Bureau, Facebook, Yelp. Every single one is 5-star. So it really speaks volumes when clients can take a look at us online and see what our past customers have said. And, it really sells itself at that point. Another big note is we've had some substantial growth year over year since starting back in 2019. I have a little more information on that here in a bit. So Ideal, really what we live by is our core values. Every decision we make in the company really leans into one of these 5 values, if not multiple. Integrity being number one, being honest, treating people with respect, and really just having strong moral principles. That's really what we stand by. Quality, providing high quality products, workmanship, and really attention to detail on top of that. Efficiency, producing the best results, timely, while remaining flexible, because this industry, as well as with technology, is forever evolving. So we always aim to be as flexible as possible, looking for what works, what's new, what can we adapt, how can we separate ourselves from the competition, and really keep propelling ourselves year over year. Communication that comes, with customers, as well as our crews, as well as each other, within Ideal Roofing. So that's really important to us, as well as teamwork. We really strive to have a good company culture, friendship. We'll talk about it here in a little, but we love to get out, at least once every month or two and do something as a company, get work out of the way, and really focus on having a good time and building a good culture as a team. A little bit about what we do. So roofing's in our name, so it's pretty obvious that we do roofing. As far as the details of our roofing projects, we really focus on residential re-roofing. So we're not handling any new construction as of yet, with the caveat of if we're doing a roof replacement for someone and they have a small patio roof that they're building off the back of their house and they'd want us to roof it at the time of re-roofing their main home, we would do projects like that. But residential re-roofing, tearing roofs off, putting new roofs on, as well as repairs. Obviously, not every roof that needs work done on it has to be fully replaced. We also offer residential repairs as well. These photos here, this is actually the same roof. The photo on the left is obviously when the roof's getting replaced, and then we have a finished drone photo at the end there. So a lot of the roofs we do are storm-related replacements. If you've been in Colorado for any period of time, I'm sure we have hail damage all the time. So I always tell homeowners and people in the industry is we are roofing professionals, but we also are professionals that handling insurance companies and making sure we can get homeowners taken care of to get their houses fixed. So that's a massive part of our business there. Residential house painting. We don't do a lot of interior painting, but we do quite a bit of exterior repainting. So this house here, we actually did roof, gutters, some windows. We ended up getting the garage door done as well. And then obviously you can see we did a repaint. Really happy with the way this one came out. We really modernized the look of this house. Siding replacements. This is a house we did this year as well. We also did a roof and gutters, as well as the barn that you can see in the back there on the photo on the right. Redid that metal roof as well. But we do siding replacements. Siding repairs we will do when we're doing house painting. So if homeowners have some boards they need to get replaced in order to get the house prepped and sealed properly before we put a top coat of paint on it, we do that as well. So siding has been something that over year we've started incorporating more and more. So really excited to see where we take that over the years. A lot of opportunity in siding. So we're really starting to get the wheels turning with that side of the business. Residential solar. So we don't do commercial solar, but we do offer solar panel install to really any homeowner that qualifies for it. With solar, it's a little bit different than our roofing and our siding and our painting. With our roofing, siding, and painting and gutters, we are doing that, installing it ourselves in terms of Ideal Roofing. With the solar, we're partnered with local installers. So what's nice about the solar with us is we're partnered with a few different install companies, so we can really have a good array of options for homeowners as far as, the highest quality materials you can get that you're going to pay a little more for, or do we want something that really meets in the middle, or do we want to look at lease options? So we have a really wide spectrum of options we can offer homeowners as far as solar goes. So that also is a newer, as of 2023, we really started incorporating that. So really excited to see where we can take that. There's a massive opportunity in solar right now. So really excited to see where that goes as well. A little bit about the founders, Phil and I. My name obviously is Jake Fairbanks. I really focus on the sales side of the business. So I'm focused more on marketing, and I'm focused on bringing jobs into the company, is a simple way to think about it. Making sure we have clients coming in. Phil's job is to make sure the clients that come in get taken care of and get done well and move on to the next project. So I really head up all the sales side of the business. Phil really has oversight of all of the production side of the business. A little more background on me. I've been in Colorado since 2015. I'm originally from the Detroit area. I grew up about 45 minutes north of Detroit, a little town called White Lake. Moved here in 2015, came out to Colorado on a camping trip down in Cripple Creek, which is way south, back in 2014 with some friends. And we decided, hey, let's pack up our cars and move here. Came out here a year later and haven't looked back since. Got a sales job back in late 2016 for a roofing and painting company. And that's actually where Phil and I met, is at that painting and roofing company. And after a couple of years, we decided to branch off and start Ideal. Phil, he is originally from Long Island. He came out here to go to school. He went to CU Boulder. I think he graduated in 2016, 2015, 2016, but he's been in Colorado since 2012. And then you can't see it because my head's blocking it, but him and I, outside of work, very passionate about golf. We like to get out as much as we can, and come wintertime when you can't golf anymore, we like to get out and ski as much as we can. Every year we can get out less and less as we get busier, but it's a real big passion of both of ours. A little bit about our teammates on Ideal Roofing. So we have a few different production managers. One of them is James Puglisi. He's been with us since 2021. Great guy. He really is a really hard worker. He puts his head down. He's a great team player, and he really handles all of our roofing and gutter production. So he's the one that's making sure our crew's showing up to the job site the day they're supposed to, making sure the job site's clean, protected properly, protecting the property, and updating homeowners throughout the day. Really from when the job starts on the roof to when the job's done, his job is to make sure that goes absolutely as smooth as possible. He handles really the roof and gutter side of the business. Brian Trembath, he's our roofing sales representative. His job is to, frankly, sell roof projects. He's getting on roofs, inspecting roofs, providing solutions to homeowners. Ultimately, homeowners need to do their roofs. His job is to make sure they do it with us, plain and simple. Within that role, obviously, there's a lot more than just getting on roofs and selling roofs. There's customer service, checking in with clients, helping them navigate what's going on and communicating clearly what's happening until it gets into production. And that's when, James and Phil and the production team take over. Brian is fresh. He started with us this year, June of this past year. Excuse me, it's 2024 now. He started June, I think mid-June of 2023. Had absolutely zero sales experience, knew nothing about roofs, and had an absolute monster first year. And really excited to see what he can do over these next few years. I mean, he really hit the ground running, and it just goes to show what you can do when you put your head down and are willing to learn and just get after it. So really happy with what he's accomplished. Alex Winsky, he's also newish to the team. He started with us in the summer of 2023 as well. You'll see why we have so many new people here when we get to our growth chart. But Alex handles really everything outside of the roof and gutters. So painting, he's helping get our painting crew scheduled. He's a job site control. He's making sure that really the painting job, any windows, siding is all coordinated, done properly. And then he's also there too if there's any things that, like any punch lists, like, hey, we walked a house, notice there's some things to touch up, some things to fix. He's going to get that taken care of and make sure once we start the paint job, he sees it all the way through to it's a complete paint job and or siding, windows, so on and so forth. He's been with us, as I mentioned, just I think midsummer, maybe July or August of this past year, 2023. Chris, also new, started this past year as well, 2023. He is really our back office manager. So he's not really in the field. His job is really making sure all the moving parts in the background are getting taken care of, such as pulling permits with the city for any roof replacements we're doing, getting inspections scheduled. He's really the bridge. A simple way to think about Chris's position, he's the bridge between sales and production and the municipalities and other jurisdictions where we have to pull permits. And he plays a massive role in the company. There's so many small moving parts that happen, and we couldn't do it without Chris, and really excited to see where he takes things over the next couple of years as well. So as I mentioned earlier, some more information about our growth. You can see here, 2019, year one. Year one was fun. It was Phil and I, we started the company in June of 23. And I think I didn't actually fully quit my past other job until October is when we really leaned into to getting Ideal moving. We printed some one-sided business cards and printed some logos on some shirts and started knocking on doors and asking people if we can look at the roofs for a free inspection. It worked. I mean, it was definitely hard work, and every year is getting, it's more and more work every year, but ultimately those were some fun times, just getting out and getting after it all day and asking people to let us on their roof. And we had no reviews. We weren't on Google, didn't have a website. We were just two kids knocking on doors saying, hey, trust us. And ultimately we made it work. We did, I think, around, it doesn't show it, but it was around $350,000 in revenue that first year. So that was fun. 2020 obviously was a weird one with COVID. We weren't even sure if we were going to make it. It was March of 2020 when everything kind of shut down. So it was right when spring was starting back up again. And we're like, hey, let's start getting after it. We went on lockdown, and ironically, once lockdown stopped and we got out and started knocking on doors again, 2020 was a bigger year. And we did about $800,000 in 2020. 2021 did about 1.9 million. 2022 just hit that 2 million mark. We really pushed for it, and we just hit 2 million back in 22. I actually think it was like 1.98 million, but we call it 2 million. And then last year was really the explosive year for us. I think really what last year showed us is all the years of figuring out what works and what doesn't. And granted, we're still fresh. We still have a lot of learning to go, but those first 4 years of putting our heads down and getting after it. 2023 was the biggest hail year we've had since we started. And all of that learning from those prior 4 years, we just hit the ground and got after it. 23 did about 5.3 to 5.5 million. The reason we don't know that exact number yet is we still have, I think, about 35 projects that we're still waiting to get done. And when you get projects done, the final numbers, final invoice numbers do end up changing when you tear roofs off and find things that you got to do. But we're going to land probably around that 5.5 million number. So really, really excited with what last year brought us, and it's really helping us build a good foundation to grow even more the next year, or this year now. So what we have to offer, more information about the position. Obviously, that's why you're here. Sales representative. This is for roofing sales. The way that we've built it out, we've done it a little bit differently than some other companies, than most companies. And we know this because we used to work for another roofing company. But the way most other companies do it is they do full commission. It's, go get deals. If you don't get one, sorry. If you do, great. You'll get paid in a few months once we do the job. We like to do things a little bit differently here. We like to give people opportunities that maybe have never sold anything before and maybe need to take a little more time to get the wheels turning and get things moving. But ultimately, if we see potential in somebody and we see that they could turn an opportunity into something big, we want to be able to give them some stability to start off. So where I'm going with that is we offer a base salary of $40,000 plus commission. In addition to that, we do offer a vehicle allowance because you are going to be driving your own vehicle around, as well as benefits. So a little bit about the benefits. We offer health, vision, and dental. Ideal covers 50% of health coverage only. So we don't cover the vision and dental, but I'm sure if you don't know, it's the cheaper part of health insurance. But that comes after 90 days of employment would kick in the 50% of health coverage. Vehicle allowance is in addition to the $40,000 base salary. That's a $500 monthly allowance that we pay in addition to your salary for gas and car maintenance. As I mentioned, you're going to be driving your own vehicle around, so you do have to have a vehicle to have this position. But that's just really to help you guys out and say, hey, obviously we know you're driving around. Here's some money for gas and some oil changes and whatever else you may need, just to help out with the maintenance on vehicles. And then we do offer a 401k option as well with company matching. That comes in after 1 year of employment. So after 365 days, you're eligible for that retirement option. So for the sales representative, a little bit about what we expect, a little bit as far as the responsibilities of the role and then what we'd expect out of that salesperson. But your job ultimately is to sell roof projects. Get in front of homeowners, sit down with homeowners. If they need their roof replaced, get them to do it with us. It's that simple. You're inspecting roofs, properties, providing options, solutions to homeowners. Ultimately, what this position is getting really good at communicating, really good at setting expectations, and really good at listening. Listening what homeowners want, what they need, and telling them why we're going to be the best company to deliver those needs to them, deliver on those needs rather. And in addition to that, obviously meeting with homeowners and selling. A big part of this role too is canvassing. We like to be very upfront about that. We don't like to wait until we offer someone a job and say, hey, just so you know, you're going to be knocking on doors. You are going to be knocking on doors. It's a part of the job. So if you're in this part of the video and you're like, oh, I definitely don't want to knock on doors, you can just cancel out. This is not going to be the job for you. I can tell you, as I mentioned with Brian, he had an absolute massive year. Just to give you some numbers, he sold about $1.4 million. As we get farther down the interview process, you'll learn what that means as far as commission. But it is a very lucrative position. And really what we expect is a salesperson to come in here and have a whatever it takes mentality. Hey, if I need to knock doors, I'll knock doors. If I need to go to a networking group and shake some hands, I'll go to a networking group. If you guys are going to be, when I say you guys, meaning Ideal Roofing is going to send me some leads and I'm going to go take a look at their roofs, that as well. Obviously, who wouldn't want that? But what we expect out of salespeople is for you to be sourcing about half of your jobs on your own. Meaning if you're going to sell 60 roof projects in a year, we expect about 30 of those to come from either referrals you got. Hey, Ideal gave me a lead. I sold a job. I did a really good job with this homeowner, and now they're sending me referrals. Those would be counted as your own source jobs, and door knocking, networking, going around job sites, talking to homeowners. We go more into the details, once we get down the interview process, but I like to be very clear. You will knock doors in this position. So, in addition to that, we have CRMs, which is customer relationship management software, just keeping track of everything that's going on within the business. We'll get into that as we get farther down the interview process. Hitting prospecting and sales goals. So we set weekly meetings, GSR, which is goal setting and review. So we'll have weekly meetings setting goals for the year. What do you want to attain this year? How can we help you get there? Plain and simple. What you can expect from us. So we have a very thorough and intensive training and onboarding process. Essentially, your first week is going through way more detail on company overview, organizational structure, setting your weekly schedule, going through expectations of we have, a little more detail of what you can expect from us on a weekly and daily basis and vice versa. just kind of getting a good foundation for you to get out there and start getting after it. Obviously, you saw the team through the overview we went through a few minutes ago. We're young. We're adaptive. We're always looking for ways that we can improve our culture, our process, client satisfaction, client experience. Always looking at new technologies, things we can make things more efficient, faster, with keeping in mind our core values of quality, integrity, all of those things as well. Weekly training meetings, talked about that in the last slide. Also, as I mentioned, with our team, we hire people that are like-minded individuals. We're all striving to help each other grow. We're always trying to get better each and every day. We want to get better. Monthly reviews and events. Also mentioned that earlier. We like to do a monthly review. Hey, what did the last month look like in sales? What worked with production, or what happened with production? What's working? What's not? I keep doing that. Just really get a good cohesive energy going between production, sales, back office, making sure everybody's on the same page and really making sure we're moving as a unit together. And then we do an annual trip as a company. We typically like to go in December to go ski. Not the best ski time of the year, but we usually like to get like an Airbnb and go ski for a couple days. And then depending on revenue for the year, we'll do a big trip. So this year we're taking everybody that was a part of the team last year to Sedona, Arizona for the weekend. So we're going to be riding some UTVs, ATVs, whatever you call them, just going out in the desert, having some fun. So that depends on how the year goes, but almost every year we're going to go out and at least get a couple days of skiing in. So sales position, it's for you. If you have done a couple, if you've had any of these things, tried selling for other companies, but you didn't believe in the product, or you want to go to sleep at night knowing you're bringing value, making an impact. You want to be compensated based on performance. I mean, that's how I first got into this industry. Is I always felt, I was a really hard worker, but making an hourly wage just didn't seem to really fit the bill for me. So I really wanted to get into an industry, or a position rather, where I could really write my own checks. So that's how I got into this business, and I haven't looked back since. So if you want to lean into something where you can really say, hey, if I work this hard and I accomplish these things, I'll be rewarded for it. If you want the flexibility and freedom that comes with the sales position, ultimately you have responsibilities, but in a way you are kind of, writing your own schedule, if you will. You have responsibilities that you have to, hold yourself accountable to, but ultimately you're talking with homeowners and figuring out what works for you and them at the same time. And it's a little more flexible than, show up at 8, go home at 5 type deal. If you're looking for an opportunity to be well compensated, if you're willing to put the work in, I mean, we've seen reps make anywhere between $5,000 to $20,000 a month. It's very possible to do well in this position if you're willing to learn and get after it. And then also, we want people in here, like I said earlier, that has a whatever it takes mentality and is ready for a challenge. I mean, it's not easy. This is not an easy position, but you get rewarded for it if you're willing to go through the hard days and really develop personally, professionally, and you get rewarded for it. A little bit about our marketing, as I mentioned, with the sales position. Canvassing is a big part of it. But we don't just knock on doors to get business. We have a pretty good network of insurance agents. So a lot of times, hail hits a neighborhood, homeowners pick up the phone and call their insurance agent that they've known for 15 years. We build a network of insurance agents. So that way, when their homeowners call them, they call us, or tell the homeowner to call us, and we'll go out and take a look at the roof and property for them. So a mix of networking with agents. We also do trade shows. There's a huge home and garden trade show I think it's every February, but it's early late winter, I guess you would call it, every year in Denver at the convention center. But we usually do about 2 to 5 trade shows per year. And then obviously, in addition to that, we have an online presence too. So we're always striving to keep our online presence known. And then we also have some pretty cool ways of sending postcards, areas that are hit by storms or neighbors we're doing projects for. We'll send postcards out to neighbors. Pretty cool platform we use for that. And then in addition to that, you can't fully see it, but we do run online ads, depending on the time of the year as well. So we like to mix it up. But as I mentioned quite a few times already, is we're always looking for ways to improve and grow. So we're always open to other options. So that's really it. Really, the next step from here is if you made it through the whole video, great. We really expect you to make it through the whole video if you're going to spend the time to apply for the position. Underneath this video is going to be a form to fill out. It's going to have some questions, a little more detailed questions about you, your past experience, what you've done, what you're hoping to do. And then there's a couple quiz questions based on this presentation. So once you fill out that information, we will be following up with you within 2 business days to set up a virtual interview, with the assumption that we reviewed your answers and we think it would be a good fit. We'll reach out and set up a virtual one-on-one interview with myself. And then from there, we'll kind of explain a lot more detail, get to know you a little more, and then, move on from there. If you do fill out the form on a Friday or over the weekend, obviously give us to Monday or Tuesday of the following week, but, hence the 2 business days. But once you fill out the form, we'll reach out and we'll take it from there. Thanks a lot.